Jet, what was it like preparation this week leading up to this game, not knowing if KJ was going to play, and then you had two other potential guys that were going to jump in there in the mix at quarterback? I mean, how did y'all address that?
We didn't really speak just a ton on it. We knew, he was questionable coming in, but we prepared like he was going to, jog out there and take the first snap, and he presents a, huge problem. But, they got great backs, great O-line, and, just players everywhere. And so we knew it was going to be a huge challenge either way, with or without him. And so we just our preparation was the same. We knew it was going to be a dogfight the whole game, so we just kind of prepped the same way. Like I said, we didn't switch up just a ton. They can both scoot, obviously. They can keep it on reads, and then they can sling it around a little bit too. So very similar.
Jed, obviously you've been here a while, and under Leach, you guys would get a big win and then have a deflating loss the next time out. Mm-hmm. You guys have kind of changed that narrative this year and got another big win today. What do you think has been different this year about being able to sustain that momentum?
Yeah, I just think we're a mature team. We're an older team. Never too high, never too low. Just kind of try to stay level-headed and take it one game at a time, and just kind of take it as it comes, and be level-headed and just play the next game.
Question to both of you. I mean, you didn't know about KJ Jefferson, but you knew Buki Watson wasn't playing in the first half, and what was it like kind of preparing for that, and do you think J.P. Purvis should win the Heisman Trophy?
You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, we knew Buki was going to be out. We joked around all week. It was like I told him I was mad at him because that was my big hit on fourth down. The A&M game, just messing with him. But, we knew he was going to be out, so we kind of treated the first half of practice like the first half of the game and the second half of practice like the second half of the game. And JP's done a great job stepping up, with Page going down, the next man up, mentality. I'm not sure how many tackles he finished with or anything today, but I know he had that good third down run plug stop, and he's done a great job for sure stepping up. And then it was obviously nice to have Buki come back in the second half.
Yeah, felt like JP been doing a good job, especially stepping up. Next man mentality is what we gotta have around here. With, like he said, Page and everybody going down, having that next man mentality stepping up, that's a good thing.
Randy, you and Jackie combined for the tackle there on the goal line on that fourth down. I guess, what did you see on that play? And I guess, what was that feeling like when you get a stop, right there on the goal line?
The feeling was great. The atmosphere of our fans just throwing with the bells, it was just going crazy. But going on the sideline, our defensive coordinator, telling us what play we're finna do, what he expect, and we just been preparing the whole week, doing what he say, executing the calls, doing our job, all the level to the ball. So it was great.
You guys are off to a 5-1 start, something Mississippi State has only done 5 times in the last 40 years. How special is it to be a part of that with the understanding that the job isn't done for either of you guys?
You're hot. Go ahead.
It feels great, doing as well. At least we know right now we're doing the right thing. We going to practice every day, doing whatever the coaches say, just doing our part of the puzzle. All 11, everybody do their job. We got Coach Leach, Arnett, everybody just, plugging together. We working as a team.
Yeah, it's nice to roll, have some momentum rolling into games. But, obviously we all know it's a very hard league. If you take breaks, you'll get exposed and you'll get beat very easily. And so, we have to take each week and each moment with great preparation and just know we're going into a big road environment, and it's going to be a huge challenge.
I can get an answer from both of you guys on this. With as aggressive as you guys are on defense, there's going to be some big plays to be made for the offense, and there were a few today, but it seems like you guys seem to come up with even bigger plays on your side of the ball. How comfortable are y'all that y'all are going to be able to finish a drive like that, whether it be an interception or stop inside the 20 or whatever?
So they Coach Leach, Coach Arnett, all the coaches just preach, play the next play. I mean, obviously, this is SEC football. They're going to make some plays on us. We know that. They tell us that. It's inevitable. So you just have to have in your head, just play the next play, try your best not to let it happen again, buckle down, and just have the right mentality coming into the next play. So That's it.
Yeah, the coach has been harping that the whole week. Like, we going against a good team. They got a good old line, good running backs, good quarterback, everything. So we got to play aggressive up in front. The whole box just got to crash down. So, that's been the focus, and that's what we had to do. We had to get our job done.
It's kind of the Bulldog revenge tour. You guys get Memphis after a game you should have won last year, and now you've got an Arkansas game you should have won last year. And last time you guys went to Kentucky was one of the worst performances of the Mike Leach era. So how soon can you maybe flush this one and kind of get it behind you and begin to start focusing on going 1-0 next week?
So yeah, we have a 24-hour rule. So we'll have meetings tomorrow, watch the film, make the corrections, because obviously there's a lot of correcting we have to do, and then Arkansas is over, on to Kentucky, and so there's no hanging on to this game. It's all eyes on Kentucky, and like I say, we just focus on the next game and got to prepare hard for them. They got a great quarterback, great running back, O-line, receivers. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And they're a great team, so it's going to be a big challenge. Like I said, 24-hour rule.
Randy, you mentioned the tackle that you had with Jackie on that fourth down. Obviously, Jackie gets an interception again later in the game. What has he kind of brought, to the team since he came in the spring?
Jackie a cool guy. I love that dude, man. That's my boy. Jackie, he came in ready to work, ready to be around the guys. He hang with us on the field, off the field, in the locker room. He be dancing with us. Like, he came in and joined the culture. The culture, we got to work. We just going to work. We're going to work to get to where we want to be. And everybody around here, we love him. Like, he's just a great guy.
Jet, for you, being on the other side of Will in a lot of practices, I mean, Mike just said that, he's someone that deserves to be in the Heisman conversation. What kind of steps have you seen, from Will to be a guy that deserves to be in that, in that race?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Will's an incredible quarterback. He's really stepped up. I would say the biggest thing that I've seen this year is just his poise in the pocket. Like, he doesn't get happy feet or anything. He sticks in there. He knows when to get out, and he can extend plays like we saw today with the touchdown to Austin. And then, so his maturity is just, and understanding the game is just skyrocketed, and he's reaping the benefits of that for sure. And then another thing is his leadership. He's very vocal, which, every good quarterback is, and we buy into his leadership. So he's done a great job. All right. Thank you all.
Q and then Will. All right. Questions for Q?
Look, Winston, you were here 2 years ago when Arkansas came at you with that 3-8 cloud defense. What were you able to do now, and they stuck with it, just to keep beating on with the run game and the pass game?
Excuse me, say that again. I didn't hear you.
You saw that the Arkansas defense, they came with the same scheme today as they did 2 years ago, totally different results this time. What's the difference now?
Just being aggressive and just pounding the ball, really.
Obviously, Nick Jones shifts over to left tackle, and Stephen Lasoya comes in there. What have you thought of him, stepping in that role at guard? Because I think Coach Miller had said that most of August he kind of spent, preparing to be the backup center.
They're great athletes. They can play across the board. Like, if you need them, they can come in and fill in when you need them.
No sacks last week or this week. This week's a little bit different, a much bigger challenge with the top pass rushing team in the Southeastern Conference. How were you guys able to be so successful today and kind of keeping him off your quarterback?
Just working together, like take sets together, just being on the same accord, just putting hands on people.
Q, both of the running backs behind you, Dylan and Jaquavius, both of them from last year to this year, their yards per carry have gone up. What do you kind of attribute that to? Do you think they've improved, or do you think your offensive line has improved, or is it kind of a mix of both?
It's a mix of both, because everybody improving in the run game, especially offensive linemen too. Like, we just trying to pound the ball, get better at the run game also.
Along those lines, what's it like having more opportunities to run block for the guys behind you, like Dylan and Woody?
Oh, it's fun, man. They ready to. I wanted to get them down here so they can bust one.
Just now, Mike Leach had said that Will deserves to be in the Heisman conversation. I guess what do you think of that and the numbers that he's put up so far this season?
No, he put up great numbers. Like, Will, he's our leader. Like, we look up to him. Like, he put us on the same accord, and he's a great leader, honestly. Like, doing his thing.
Baker Q in the back. You talked about the running backs. Just how satisfying it is for the offensive line to see those guys getting those chunk yards and averaging and getting all those yards. It's something that hadn't happened for a while.
Right, yeah, it's very satisfying. Like, you get finished with your block and you see them still running. Like, yeah, it's a relief for real.
Looking at Arkansas this week in practice, I mean, obviously they've been very successful. What was kind of Coach Miller's message to you guys as you prepared? Because it's a much different front than what A&M had. So what was it kind of like in practice and meetings this week?
Being very aggressive. Like, that was the motto, being aggressive. All right, no problem.
Hey, Will, it's been mentioned, your name is pretty high up there in the Heisman conversation, and Mike Leach also agrees, he thinks you're a good contender for that. What's it like to have that, kind of confidence from your coach, knowing that, he believes that you deserve that kind of award, and how does that affect your play and your mindset?
I mean, it's cool. It's cool, I guess, to be as, talked about, maybe one of the best players in the country, but, I don't think about it a lot. I think with team success, individual success will come, so I'm just trying to win every week. I really don't care about the Heisman.
2 straight weeks you've had the back of your jersey clean thanks to your offensive line.
No kidding.
What would you talk about their performance today, especially against a great pass rush?
Awesome. I think somebody said it. That team led sacks in the SEC coming in. I think they did a really good job of, they have some big, long guys that are really, really mobile in the pass rush and can really get after the quarterback. But, kind of the same thing like you said last week, just straight 3 down the whole time. 3 down, 2 in the box, six defensive backs. So I thought R5 did better than their 3, and then plus the 2 linebackers in the box. So the way we were able to run the ball, the way they were able to pass block and things like that, it was a great job by the offensive line and the whole offensive staff, especially Coach Miller and Coach Kramer.
Kind of expanding on that a little bit. I mean, you think back to that game against Arkansas 2 years ago when they unleashed that drop 8, and today you rush for 170 plus yards or whatever it was offensively. But how much have you seen this offense evolve from that game to this point?
Yeah, I think the more that we can run the ball and the more we can really, get extra guys in the box, the more it's going to open up a pass lane or something like that. That's obvious, and I think the more that we can take off with those offensive linemen, it's not fair for a defensive end to get in a track stance and be able to, pass rush. So the more that we can show that we can run the ball and, be able to throw the ball like we do, I think that helps us be on pace.
Well, the last 3 weeks you guys have played pretty complete football in all phases, and it's been 3 really good weeks for you guys here at home. I remember back at LSU at the end of the game, I'd asked you about walking down. Even at the end of that game, you were like pumping up your offensive line, telling them to move on. What do you think the last 3 weeks says about this team and the maturity of you guys, how you have responded and developed over these last 3 weeks?
I think you said it, mature. I think we're kind of a mature team now. I think the past 2 years we're considered like a young team, and, a young team might come in here and drop a game at home, maybe still thinking about what happened at LSU or something like that. But, like you were saying, I kind of told the guys, kind of told the offensive line, that's over. This has got to light a fire under us, and I think it did. So these past 3 games, the home stretch has been really good. But we still have a lot to work on, man. We have a long way to go, and we're about to have 2 road games that are going to be hard as anybody in the country, I think.
Well, Caleb Ducking, there's some more games left to play today, but is now tied for the lead in touchdown catches in the Southeastern Conference. I know you enjoy getting out there dancing with him, but did you ever see this coming from him this year?
I mean, yeah, I really expected it, honestly. He's been a guy that's been here 2 years and didn't really see the field as much. But, he got reps. He's been getting reps and knows the system, knows where to be on this certain play. So, even if he wasn't playing these past 2 years, I think it was very valuable for him to be getting those reps and learning the offense and things like that. So, he's paid his dues, and I think he's doing really well for us this year.
Will, I asked Coach Leach the same question. You kind of touched on it there about the LSU loss, but in years past under Coach Leach, you guys would get a big win and then drop the next game and kind of lose momentum. But obviously that's been different this year. Even within a game, you guys are able to regain momentum.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to point to a couple of factors because of that, what would you say?
Probably that we've all been playing together for 3 years now. Like I was saying, there's so many familiar faces around here from when Coach Leach even got here, whether it be Q or Austin Williams or, myself or Dylan Johnson or Woody or Cam Young on defense, Buki, Tyrus. You could go on and on. We have a lot of guys that have played a lot of ball. So, we kind of know the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts. And, I think that's one thing that a mature team will show. One week's over, you got to move on to the next. And, right now we're going to enjoy this one tonight, but when we wake up in the morning, it's Kentucky. And they're obviously very, very good, very, very talented. They have a really, really good quarterback, and I think they do some really good things on defense.
You talk about the stretch of the last 3 games now featuring 2 consecutive dominant wins over conference teams. What kind of momentum does that give you going into Kentucky?
I think it gives us momentum, but, don't make any mistake about it. They're going to be ready to play next week. I'm not sure they play this week or anything like that, but I know they probably felt like they let one slip away last week down in Oxford. But I think they're going to be ready to play next week. It's a home game for them. Yeah, so we gotta answer the call.
Your offense is kind of unique in the fact that you can rush basically as well as you can pass. How does it feel to be able to rely on both sides of an offense like that?
It feels good. Anytime, like I've said in the past, anytime that Woody or Dylan can get the ball in their hands, I think we're in good hands. We have a good football play. So, being able to have 2 backs that complement each other well and that can run, it just helps our offense go even more.
Did you know at any point before this game that you were close to the completion record for the SEC? And then on top of that, what's it like, mid-game being recognized or something like that?
Yeah, my dad told me last week after the game. I really didn't know until then, but, I really wasn't thinking about it. And then in the game, I wasn't thinking about it at all until it came up on the big screen. But for it to come up on the big screen and, for it to happen at home was pretty cool. It would have been cool to happen on the road or something, but for it to happen at home in Davis Wade, where I've been watching games since I was, in 2nd grade, it's been pretty cool.
Well, back here, David Edelstein from WJTV, yes, in Jackson. I cover another Bulldogs team from Brandon you might be familiar with a little bit.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me just asking a little more.
6-0 or 7-0?
I think they're 7 now.
Okay, I was just making sure.
They're all in the win column.
Yeah.
So you've been following. But if you don't mind me just asking a general question just about that, not necessarily related to this game. When you think back, if you do, to your high school days and the growth that you had in college too, I'm wondering if there's anything specifically from high school football that still stands out to you that you still take with you when you're accomplishing things like you are here at Mississippi State?
Yeah, probably just the way I prepare. I played in Brandon I started since I was in 10th grade. Through senior year, and just learning how to prepare, learning how to work hard. I didn't know how to work hard until I got in probably the 8th or 9th grade and really started working hard with the team and things like that. So yeah, I learned a lot from Brandon. It's a great place. My brother still plays there, and I'll be back there someday for sure.
Will, watching the defense, there's going to be some big plays with the aggressiveness that they play with, but it seems like they come back and trump that with a couple of big plays that they make themselves. I mean, what's the comfortability with you as a quarterback and on the offensive side of the ball seeing that they're able to kind of overcome some of those big plays?
Are you asking if I'm comfortable going against them? Because I'm not.
No, I mean, like on the sidelines watching them.
Yeah, no, it's me and Jameer were sitting there when just kind of talking about it. Like, we'll give up. We might give up a run, or we might miss a tackle or something like that. But with Coach Arnett's scheme and the way those guys play together and play so hard and we're so aggressive, you've got to finish drives. You can't just get into the red zone and think we're about to run it in or something like that. You got to. I mean, if you got 75 yards to go, you better go 75, not 74 and a half. You know what I'm saying? So I think it says something for them and how they coach and the way those guys fly around and compete.